Every ending always has a new beginning. Likewise, our session has just begun with a good start. Wishing you a very good evening to one and all present here. I thank Kalpana ma'am for giving me this opportunity to deliver the welcome address for the 2-week faculty development program on chronic stress management during pandemic period. I, Kashish from BSc 19, welcome you all on behalf of Department of Nautical Science. It is my great pleasure to heartily welcome our chief guest for today, Ravi Shankar sir, author and founder of Jai Kala. I would like to extend a warm welcome to our Vice Principal, Captain K. Karthik sir. Thank you for always keeping us engaged with these informative sessions. I welcome all the deans and HOD of various departments. I heartily welcome our faculty and staff participant for our department as well as from other university who have dedicated time to take part in our department conference. Last but not the least, our happy welcome to all the students and the viewers, members of this meeting without whom this session would have been impossible. We will now proceed to our session on chronic stress management during pandemic period, day 2. And I would like to call Cadet Bhuvneshwari from BSc 19 for guest introduction part. Over to you, Bhuvneshwari.
Thank you, Kashish. கனவு காணுங்கள். ஆனால் கனவு என்பது நீ தூக்கத்தில் காண்பது அல்ல. உன்னை தூங்க விடாமல் செய்வது எதுவோ அதுவே லட்சிய கனவு. இந்த ஏவுகணை நாயகனின் வார்த்தைகளை கேட்டு எழுச்சி பெறாதவர்கள் இருக்க முடியாது. கலாமையா அவர்களின் எளிமையும் தன்னலமற்ற தன்மையும் நம் விருந்தினரான திரு ரவிசங்கர் அவர்களை வெகுவாக கவர்ந்தது. அவருடைய லட்சிய வார்த்தைகள் இவரின் உண்மையான வாழ்க்கையின் அடையாளத்தை, நோக்கத்தை அறியச் செய்தது. பொருளாதாரத்தில் பின்தங்கிய மாணவர்களுக்கென ஜெயிக்கலாம் என்ற அமைப்பை உருவாக்கி நடத்தி வருகிறார். அவருடைய 22 வருட அசாத்திய தகவல் தொழில்நுட்ப வாழ்க்கையில் அவர் கற்ற அனுபவங்களையும் பெற்ற திறன்களையும் கொண்டு கல்வியில் கலாமையா அவர்களின் நினைவாக இளைஞர்களை மேம்படுத்தும் ஜெயிக்கலாம் என்ற அமைப்பினை தொடங்கி நடத்தி வருகிறார். தற்போது ஒராக்கிள் நிறுவனத்தின் மென்பொருள் மேம்பாட்டுத் துறையின் இயக்குநராக உள்ளார். தன்னலமற்ற குணம் கொண்ட இவர் தமிழின் மீது கொண்ட பற்றால் தன்னுடைய ஜெயிக்கலாம் அமைப்பிற்கு இக் என்ற லோகோவை வைத்துள்ளார். 3 நாவல்களை எழுதியுள்ளார். பல புத்தகங்களை எழுதியும் வருகிறார். நீங்கள் துன்பப்பட்டிருக்கலாம், துயரப்பட்டிருக்கலாம், வெட்கப்பட்டிருக்கலாம், வேதனைப்பட்டிருக்கலாம், ஒதுக்கப்பட்டிருக்கலாம், ஒடுக்கப்பட்டிருக்கலாம், ஒரு செயலை செய்ய வேண்டும் என்று புலம்பி இருக்கலாம், அந்த செயலை செய்ய முடியாமல் நொந்து போயிருக்கலாம், பொய்கள் பேசியிருக்கலாம், அது மெய்கள் என தெரிந்தும் மறைத்திருக்கலாம், நக்கல் செய்பவர்கள் உங்களை நச்சரித்திருக்கலாம், நீங்கள் அவர்களை எச்சரித்திருக்கலாம், உற்றார் உறவினர்கள் உங்களை உதாசீனப்படுத்தி இருக்கலாம், நீங்கள் அவர்களால் மறுக்கப்பட்டு மனமுடைந்து போயிருக்கலாம், முக்கியமான விஷயங்களை மறந்திருக்கலாம், காத்து காத்து வைத்த பொருள் காணாமல் போயிருக்கலாம், உங்கள் முயற்சிகள் முறிந்து போயிருக்கலாம், கனவுகள் இருந்திருக்கலாம், அது காலத்தால் கலைந்திருக்கலாம், சரி என்று நினைப்பதில் தவறு இருக்கலாம், இதற்கான காரணங்களை பலர் அறியாமல் இருக்கலாம், இப்பொழுது ஆழமாக சிந்திக்கலாம். காரணங்கள் என்னவாக இருக்கலாம்? அதை கண்டுபிடிக்கலாம், முயற்சிக்கலாம், பயிற்சிக்கலாம், சாதிக்கலாம். ரவிசங்கர் ஐயாவை போல் ஜெயிக்கலாம். கலாம் ஐயாவின் கனவுகளை சுமக்கலாம். என் பேச்சை கேட்டு நீங்கள் சற்றே சலித்திருக்கலாம். அதனால் ரவிசங்கர் ஐயாவை விரைவில் வரவேற்கலாம். வாருங்கள், இந்த கலாம் ரசிகரின் பேச்சை பார்க்கலாம், கேட்கலாம், ரசிக்கலாம். We welcome you for this beautiful evening session, sir. Now, I hand over mic back to Kashish for further proceeding of this event.
Thank you, Bhuvneshwari, for this astonishing introduction. By definition, we all know that a habit is a routine of behavior that is repeated regularly and tends to occur subconsciously. Habit is like a cable. We weave a thread each day, and at last, we cannot break it. So today's topic is 6 habits for high performance. Without any further delay, I would like to call our guest speaker, Ravi Shankar sir, to know more about the insights of habit and its implementation in our day-to-day life. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction to Kashish ma'am and also Bhuvneshwari. And definitely, kind of felt very affectionate and love from the faculties of AMET. I'm really happy, feel honored. Good evening, everyone. And today, so hopefully you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can see my video, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. That's good. So I'm really happy to talk. Generally, I've spoken with the students, but this time I'm going to talk to faculties. Actually, I have a huge respect on teachers. So that is like Kalam says, because he focused on two people in the society. One is students, second is teachers. Because he knows that the entire culture, entire education, everything is happening in the school and in colleges. Because education is the way that whatever that you want the country to be changed, you can change. It's a very powerful weapon, I would say. Okay, so I would say even teachers are warriors in that way, because they are deciding the future of a country. So in that aspect, teaching is very close to my heart, and I have huge respect on teachers. It's not just coming from my mouth, it is coming from bottom of my heart. Okay, with that, let me get into the today's presentation. Let me share my screen. Okay, and okay. So hopefully my screen is visible. And today I'm going to talk about 6 habits of high performers. This is one of the presentation I attended a few years back, and then I have been practicing it, and I fine-tuned based on our need, what would work, what is easily practicable, because the habits are pretty difficult sometimes, because people are habituated for many years based on their belief, based on their value system, based on the brought up environment. So many factors decide habit of a person. But at the same time, so how we can change habits so that we also become high performer? Is it doable? Is it repeatable? That's what I'm going to talk about. With that, let me start with a quote of Dr. Kalam. So he pretty much talk this quote in every presentation, right? You must have a dream, an aim in life. You must continuously acquire knowledge. With hard work and perseverance, you can realize the great life, right? You can achieve anything in life, right? When we have this. So this is the quote that Dr. Kalam repeats in every stage, every college I would like to have. I will later share why I chose this particular quote for this presentation. With that, we can just quickly check the reality before we get into the presentation. The reality is we all are here, right? We all want to understand how high performers are able to achieve big results. What is so different with high performers? How can I become a high performer? Because everyone wants to achieve something big in life. How can I become a performer? How to handle social peer pressure? Because many times we are not able to perform what based on our capacity, based on our potential, because of the social pressure and peer pressure. We tend to kind of do what others are doing. I don't have much clue about my life or career goal. Many people I have, because I am also doing life coaching and career coaching. When I ask what is your goal, many people are blank and they don't have a goal, right? So they don't have much idea about where they should head towards. I don't know how to make progress. I know goal, but I don't know how I can achieve that. So this is also there in people mind. I don't execute against my plan. Some people will have a plan, even plan, detailed plan, but because of various reason and they are preoccupied, they are not able to make any progress against the plan. The plan stays as it is. The reason could be, procrastination. They can't do time management properly, right? And some people think and start believing that I am a loser, I can't perform. I know high performers are there in the society. They are born performers. I'm a born loser, I can't perform, right? So that is the decision that they made, okay, about themselves. So these are the reasons, probably one of the reason or multiple reasons could be there in many of our minds, because of which we think high performers are very rare in the society. I can't become a high performer, or we don't know how we can become a high performer. So this presentation is going to address these points. Okay, let me start with a short story. Once upon a time, there was a king. Okay, so he was managing a country beautifully, and it was very prosperous country, and he had 4 princes. Okay, and he was at the deathbed, and he had to pass on the kingdom to one of his prince. So he told to 4 of them that they need to climb a mountain, tallest mountain. It's called the Sambal mountain. It's a peak, Sambal peak, and then fetch a rare flower that kind of grows only in that place. Whoever brings that flower will be the next king. So after that, he kind of passed away. Now all these ministers, everyone kind of asking, said, yeah, just go ahead and do whoever is fulfilling your father's task, then we will swan in them as next king. So first prince, what he did is he was very fast, quickly. He kind of what they need to do it is they need to cross a river. So the river had a high current, and the waters were flowing really fast. So the first prince tried to swim, and he tried. At the midway, he was swept away by the river. So he was not able to withstand the current, and he was kind of taken away by the river. Second prince, he didn't know swimming. So he didn't expect that his father will ask the prince to do everything on his own. He was only trying going in boat and other thing with the help of other people. But since he has to do on his own, he couldn't do. He was just standing at this river bank. He didn't even start. Then the third prince, so he was the smart among the everyone. So he kind of immediately jumped, and then he crossed the river, and he started going towards the peak. And on the way, so he saw a bunch of the people who live in that mountain region, right? The tribes. So they started questioning him. He didn't know their language, and he was just having an argument with them, and he was rudely saying, I'm going to be the king and all these things. They didn't understand, so they had a fight, because he got angry, and then they had fight, and finally they kind of pushed him down, and he was killed by that incident. So even he couldn't go to the peak. The fourth prince, so he also crossed the river. He was just casually enjoying the swimming, and then he crossed, right? And then he went there, and then he realized after crossing the river, he forgot the peak name. He didn't know. Okay, when he looked at there are several peaks, so then he was just going peak after the peak, but since he didn't know the peak name, right, he was just roaming around there endlessly. He couldn't come back. So if you see, no one finished the task, so no one became the king, right? So this was the task. Let's analyze this task at the end of the session. Now coming to the performer. So if you see those 4 princes, no one was a performer, because performer is the one who has to complete a task, right? I will just give few examples. Who can be a performer? What is a task? Let's say you go and switch on a light in a room. That is also a task, right? A small task. You're performing a task, and then right, the light starts glowing. It could be as simple as that. The performer need not to be a huge one. Even a day-to-day basis, you see, we perform so many tasks. It could be simple, as simple as riding a cycle. It could be a circus artist. If you see with multiple balls, he with a lot of concentration, he was able to throw the balls without dropping the ball. Now he was able to do the performance. Or it could be cricketers with a lot of concentration, with the in front of huge crowd and television, so many viewers, still he has to perform. That is also a performance. And soldiers fighting in a battlefield, it is also a performance, because they have to win. There is a target, they need to defeat the enemies, they have to work as a team. Even that is also a performance, life battling performance. Doctors, engineers, even teachers, right? So becoming a doctor is a kind of performance, I would say. It's a long term kind of goal that you are achieving, right? It's not a 1 day or 1 month. It is a years of work together for achieving a task of becoming a doctor or engineer or doctorate, right? Or ruling a country. It could be as massive as ruling a country. It is also a task, right? So these all are the tasks. Whoever is completing the task is called a performer, because they are able to complete the task, right? So for all these tasks, right from switching on a light and to becoming a doctor, there are obviously 4 questions you need to have clarity. You need to have an answer. When you have answers to these 4 questions, you will be able to complete the task. So that is the key here. For any task, we need to have an answer for these 4 questions. First question is, can I do it? You might think easily, I can switch on the light, but think about maybe 2 feet small kid can't switch on the light of, if it is a 4 feet or 5 feet switch. Or let's say a old person, if he can't stand, they can perform the task, even if it is a small task that we may think, because that is a regular task of any human being. We might think it is easy, everyone can do it. No, even there they need to have the physical ability to perform the task. It has to be practical. Practically they should be able to perform. They may know, but they should know practically how to do it, and they need to have the fitness, physical fitness. For example, playing cricket, maybe 5 days they need to have a fitness. Or riding a cycle also, you need to have the fitness. For example, if you have to ride on a slope, slanting mountain hill region, or the road is not that great, you need to have a lot of energy and physics to be able to ride the bicycle. And all the body parts need to coherently work to perform a task, right? So otherwise we will not be able to achieve. For a certain task, only maybe hand is good enough, but even then, eye is needed. If I have to write, right? If I have to write, I need to have my back in a proper this thing. If I have back problem, even I can't sit, I can't write. There are so many body parts needs to be in a good condition for us to be able to perform. It's not only about our body, it is also about the environment and weather. There are so many external factors. For example, switching on a light, I can do it at a normal temperature. But if it is in Antarctica, if the temperature is -20, without having a proper gloves, I can't even, because I will not even know the feel. I will not get the feel of even touching the switch, right? There are so many factors. If it is in a 50 degrees temperature, sometimes we may not be able to perform tasks which otherwise we may do. So here there are 2 points that we need to remember. One is the body, second is the environment in which we are going to operate, right? So I'm calling this as a body. So let's everything put together, I'm just calling it as a body. So we need to see whether do we have the right physical fitness to be able to perform the task. Second question is how to do it. Okay, there are techniques. For example, I'm having a well physique, but if I don't know swimming, right, I can't cross the river. The knowledge is very important. How to do it. This is where we kind of learn how to do programming, how to ride a ship, that I should know, right? How I should know how I can read a direction, how to read the speed of the boat, how to read the distance that I need to travel. There are so many things that we should be aware of. This could be a technical skills or it could be a process, right? Even for cooking, there are set of process needs to be followed, right? We need to clearly know how much quantity that I need to put, right? Or how much, what time that I should leave, right? For every step. So all these things that I should know on top of having the right physics. It could be soft skills. For example, I should know a language. If I need, if I I may be able to do some activity in Chennai, but I may not be able to do an activity in Delhi if I don't know Hindi, right? So I should know the language, right? For example, sometimes I might need to know the art or sports, how to do it. What all are the rules for playing cricket? I have the physics, but if I don't know the rules, but I can't play, right? So for second thing is, and another thing is facts and figures that we should know. What is operate, what under which condition that this operation should be performed, right? They, for everything they will say, right? Even for the medicine, if you buy, they'll say, you know, store it in this temperature. So all these things that we should know. This is what I would call as a how to do it. It's all about knowledge, right? First is about body and second is knowledge. Third question is, okay, I know I have good physics, I have the knowledge, but third thing, the most important thing is, can I stay focused while doing? This is where many of us would fail, right? This is one thing that I would say is a clear differentiator with respect to time management, with respect to staying present. For example, so this is called state of mind. How we are keeping our mind while performing a task, right? Fully concentrated. For example, if I know cooking, if I don't follow what I need to do after every 10 minutes, right? Or every minute I need to go to the next, maybe I need to put um, um, salt or other things at the time, because they will say cooking also is a process. If I don't follow the process strictly at the time that they have mentioned, it's not going to be come out well. Even though I may be a super chef of biryani, but in that particular day, on that moment, if I don't follow, if I don't have the right mindset, I will not be able to generate the output. Right? It could be because of anxiety, it could be because of courage, lack of courage, it could be anger, it could be happiness. Too much happy also sometimes, you know, we lose concentration. Sad, envy, fear, greedy. There are so many things come and play in our mind, right? So this is what we need to manage. If we don't manage our mind, state of our mind, even though if we have physics, even though we have the knowledge, we may not be able to complete the task at the moment, at the need of the hour. So here, what all are involved? Time management is critical. Procrastination is there. How we avoid it, and interpersonal. So as an individual, one person may be a great, but if there is no coordination, if you need to perform, for example, if you don't have if you're angry, you may not be able to perform. You may not be able to communicate the thing at the to the person rightly, in a right manner, in an understandable manner, right? If two people are involved, if one of the person's mindset is not right, then it will impact the entire team, right? Because a lot of team activities are also we are doing. It's not like we always do as an independent person. I would call everything under a bucket called mindset. So I need to have body, I need to have the knowledge, and the important thing is, while performing the task, I need to have the right state of mind and mindset. And the fourth and the most important of all is, why do I need to do it? Many students or many person not able to perform many things because they don't ask this question themselves. Why do I need to do it? Or they don't get the answer. Because they don't know why should I do it, they don't do it. It's very simple. Like many times we have good physics, maybe we have the knowledge. I can, if I concentrate, I can do it. I know, because if I sit for 10 minutes, I can do it, but we don't do it, right? Because we don't know what is the impact, what is the benefit of completing these tasks, how this is going to. So this is what I would say purpose or goal. So switching on a light. I'm just taking a simple example because there are so many learnings we can do from a simple exercise. Switching on a light, I won't do it in the daytime if there are sufficient light. When it is becoming a dark, then there is a purpose arising. Because it's going to be dark, I cannot perform my other task, dependent task. So I have to switch on the light. So there is a purpose. That's why I go and perform a task. If I don't find a purpose, I don't do that. So for everything, no, this holds true. End state, we need to visualize. We need to have the end state in mind, right? For small things, it's easy. But if we have a big ambition, what Kalam says and what other people say, if we don't visualize or if we don't understand the benefit of the end state, right? Because if we understand the benefit of the end state, lot of energy will come. So we will find time. We will find time to learn, increase our knowledge, right? We will keep our body fit to be able to perform the task. So for everything, so this is the driving force. This is related to human values, right? For example, if a person is having a lot of service minded, selfless, probably he will do a lot of charity work because he is valuing that so much. He's seeing that. For example, if a person is seeing knowledge sharing is a great value, then they will become a teacher and they will see, okay, for every session, they will kind of make sure that the students and participants know exactly what information they need to know. So their level of involvement in teaching increases, right? And beliefs, as I said, so many people believe in certain thing. If I do this, this is the outcome, right? And so many people will perform certain activity because they believe, based on their brought up, based on how they see in the society, right? And abstract layer. So we need to always understand the abstract layer. So because there are so many things going on every day. Abstract layer, when I say, many tasks, if we see, the outcome will be look similar, right? It could be human value, it could be charity, but whether you are giving awareness session, whether you are donating money, whether the task could be different. But the ultimate goal, if you see, it's all one and all. It's a human value. It's all tied to human value. If you start going into the abstract layer of simplifying things, understanding the end goal in a simple manner, how it is impacting others' life, right? I would put all under a bucket called vision, or our sole purpose of our life. If we are talking about a big goal, if we are talking about a lifetime achievement, right? Why do I need to do this particular? Why do I have to keep this as a biggest goal, big dream of my life, right? This is for big dreams, big tasks. Even for small tasks, if you start asking the question, why do I need to do it? I'm sure this will help you to get the other three things. These are the 4 questions. I'm just rephrasing. I'm just showing, can I do it? Body. How to do it? Knowledge. Can I stay focused? Mindset. Why should I do it? Vision. So if I put this in a pictorially, if I depict, so this is how I would say, this is like a pyramid. And why I put body at the bottom? Because that is the ground. That is where that is where your vision is coming into reality, right? If you don't use your body to make things happen, actually the performance happen in reality, right? It doesn't happen in the mind, it doesn't happen in the future. It happens right at the present moment using our body, even for teaching, right? And then mindset, brain or knowledge, vision or soul. Because everything, the arrow mark shows whatever that we perform on day-to-day basis, whatever the mindset that we want to, we keep and train our mind. And then the knowledge that we acquire, everything is pointing towards our vision, right? So we will be able to achieve the kind of tasks that we want to achieve big in life. These are the four things, but I just wanted to look at these four pillars in a totally different tense wise, right? Past tense, present tense, future tense. So if you see the brain, I would say it's more of a past tense, because the knowledge is something that we have stored in our mind based on our past activities, based on our education, based on our observation. So based on our experience, we have gathered a lot of knowledge that we performed in the past. That's what we have stored in our brain, right? That's what we call it as a knowledge. And future is more of a focus, soul or vision is more of a future. The dream or the ambition that we have, the target and goals that we want to achieve, it's more of a future. It has not yet happened. We all want to work towards achieving that in the future. So I would say it's more of a future. Whereas body and mindset are more of a present. How we are keeping our mindset at the right moment. If I don't keep my mindset in this way, I will not be able to perform the presentation. You will not be able to listen, right? Our minds will be somewhere else. A lot of distractions are there nowadays. So all these things, based on how well we manage our time, how well we keep the distractions away. It's all about present tense, and how well the body is also present, right? Because what how I'm using it at the present moment for performing a task. So these are the four things that I want to say. I want to introduce a terminology called doer. In our society, I see there are two types of people. One is doer. Doers are, for any task, if you give it to them, they will complete, because they know how to keep their mindset clearly for performing a task, and they use their kinesthetic body for performing the task, for following the process, right? So everything they will be able to do. I would tag them as a doer. And then thinker. Thinker is someone, they are analytical in mind. They can solve maths, they can solve, think various scenarios. For a given problem, they can think multiple solutions, right? They can also visualize the future. They can imagination will be there, right? So many things will be there. So I would call them as a thinker. So in life, we need to have equal balance of doer and thinker, right? We need to, so when we have to think, we have to think. When we have to do, we have to do. But here is where the challenge for many of us, this is the differentiating factor that I have realized, right? The thing is, the people have some blocking between the mindset and body versus brain and soul. Because of that, either they become 90% doer, less than 10% thinker, or 90% thinker, 10% doer, right? Let me just categorize the people based on this definition. I would call very minimal people, maybe less than 5% of the people, probably, I don't know the exact the thing, but very few people, they can't think, they can't do. Probably now I'm just calling here as a loser. Maybe they are living aimlessly. Many of us in the society are called dreamers. They can think, but they don't know how to do it. They can't do it to the extent that they think, right? So many great ideas they may have, so many big dreams that they want to achieve in future, but they don't perform, right? Because of that, their dream stays as a dream. I would term them as a dreamer, living unreal. Third category of people I would say is can't think but can do it. So I would say them as a follower, because if you tell them the process, they will follow religiously, they will follow daily, they will follow, but they can't think beyond. They can't see the future. They can't come up with a new way of things, right? The ratios may vary. I'm not saying they can't think at all. I'm just saying they tend to do more and more with what they know already. and the performer comes here. Performer is a one who can think, who can do. They know when to think, what to think, how to think. They know when to execute. While executing, they don't think much, right? The performers are living every moment, right? That is what would differentiate them from rest of the crowd. Okay, so I would, just for our understanding, I would say maybe 10% as a performer, 40% as follower, 40% as dreamer, 10% as loser. Just for our understanding, that's how I would see as a pattern of people. So we need to see how we can increase from, how can we move from follower to performer and then dreamer to performer. So then we will have a lot of performers. Many of us can become a high performer. So this is how you can visualize a thinker. Thinker is someone who keeps thinking as if they are at a hilltop. They can see clearly the future. They have high visibility. They can see so far. Even they know each and everything, right? They can solve the problem. They have solution to multiple problems, right? They can visually see the future. They know. But only problem is they don't know the ground reality because they are at that high level of altitude, right? Because here is where they most of the time they know they have gained the knowledge in the past. They are very good. They are having the knowledge. They are futuristic. They can visualize the future. They can see others problem too. They tend to provide solution to other people, which is good. But sometimes if they can't perform their task, their dreams will stay as a dream. That is the only thing that we are saying here. No, we are not saying thinkers are bad or dreamers are bad. But the thing is, if we move thinker to performer, then the achievements will be more. So this is how you can visualize a dreamer. Most of the time you would have seen, no, people might be off-minded or might be thinking, right? Somewhere they are indulged in thinking. They are not in the moment. If you think you are one among them, then probably you are a thinker, right? You feel comfortable. Many times I've seen thinkers think about a goal. They even detail out the exact steps to be performed. With that itself, they get satisfaction. Okay, everything is done. For them, the execution doesn't matter, right? They get satisfaction with their thinking itself. That is one of the problem that they don't see, right? With their mind, within their brain, they look at the problem, a vision, they detail out everything. When they have complete clarity, then they move on to the next dream, or then they move on to the next thing. So that the day every day keeps passing, right? They don't see the ground reality. So this is how we can visualize a doer. So doer's life will be mostly dark clouds, surrounded by dark clouds, because either they are carrying their bad past, their hurtful incidents, their maybe childhood is having a bad phase, and they had challenges, right? So many things, right? The sadness, and then anxiety. Some people will have the anxiety of future, right? What will happen to me? So they will they don't have much clue about the past and future. Either they live in past, or they are worried about their future. They spend most of the time there. All they know is, okay, today what I can see. They'll do what they know, right? They worry about future. They carry the burden of past. So this is how the doers, but still they are very productive people. They will complete the task. When compared to dreamers, if you see, doers at least perform tasks daily, but they may not be able to achieve big dreams because they can't see the future. Their mind is preoccupied with the past and they worry about the future, right? This is how you can visualize a doer. In case if you are one among the person, right? Because why I'm saying with the picture, easily you can relate whether are you a thinker, are you more inclined towards doer, and we need to see how you can come out as a successful performer. This is how a performer can go to ground level and he can perform the task, and once he finish the task, he will come up to the hilltop, and he will see how far he has gone. He will be able to think the aerial view, or the bird's eye view, and he knows, okay, to what extent he has gone. Okay, tomorrow what he needs to do. What is the next week's target? He also can see the bottlenecks that is coming on the way. Right? They will spend time on what all are the today's mistakes, which needs to be corrected. So they take time for thinking. They take majority of the time for doing. So that is the success of performer. It's a clear weather, right? So they don't see any dark clouds, either below or above. So we need to see how we can get there. With that, now we are getting into the second phase of the presentation. Now we are going to see who is a high performer. So if you see this picture, pretty much I think everyone know who all that I've portrayed here, right? Kalam is there, and Tata and Usain Bolt. So if you see, everyone has performed at a different level, right? Even 1 rupee party that nowadays now people hear. So all these people have done enormous achievement in their own field. The field might be different, but if you see, the success of them relies in one of these 4 areas. If you see, Kalam and 1 rupee party or maybe Ratan Tata are more focused with their vision, right? Vision is their this thing. Similarly, if you see Bolt or maybe Sachin Tendulkar, they need high level of body, right? Fitness is so important for them, right? They have to do that. And if you see maybe Vishwanath Anand or A.R. Rahman, the talent or the mind related, the brain, so many things that they need to know about the knowledge, know about the game, so many things. But one thing that is common to all 4 is the mindset, right? Staying in the present. They know their vision, they acquired the knowledge, they kept their body intact for what they need to do. And then every day they live their moment. Every day they lived as a high performer, right? Living their moment. They know every day, I'm sure all 4, every one of them would have done the 6 habits that we are going to see in their day-to-day life. But the amount of time might vary based on what they want to do. But there is a pattern and behavior. High performer. Let's see, all 4 pillars are fully aligned. So this is the high performer. All 4 pillars are fully aligned to them. They know what is their vision. They know what to achieve the vision, what knowledge they need. Vision is the starting point. Then they know what knowledge they need to gain. Then they know, okay, to what level of physical fitness is needed for performing the task. And then on a daily basis, they know how to do time management, mind management, everything, right? So the all 4 pillars are fully aligned for a high performer, self-driven from inside. So this will happen when all your tasks are focused on vision. So it's very simple. Many people that we see, why they are high performer, we will see it's not external things driving. It's a self-driven. They are self-driven person because their vision, they are moving towards the vision which they have set. Continuous learners. So knowledge also they continuously learn, right? So it's otherwise 25 years of Tendulkar's career, so many failures, so many 3 Olympics, 9 almost 8 gold medals by Usain Bolt. It's not a small achievement. So for that, they are continuous learners, continuous practice, and focusing on the performance than outcome. Even in my recent LinkedIn post, I posted this. If many times we focus on the outcome, if I put this post in my Facebook, how many likes I'm going to get, how many people are going to acknowledge, how many people are going to share. So our focus is more on the outcome than the quality of the content, right? If we focus on quality of our post, the outcome will automatically happen. So these people, the performers, generally focus on the process, generally focus on their performance, what is there in their hand, rather than focusing on what is going to be the response. Sustain for long term and multiple goals. They will have a small goals. They will define small goals. They will define a year goal, 5 years goal, right? So those things they will do, and then they will sustain for long term. It doesn't come overnight. Many of us, right, the curve, it starts like that. We quickly achieve 20%. After 20%, since we are looking for response, since we are looking for outcome, it's not going to happen once we finish 20% of the task. That's where we kind of know, since we are not self-driven, we kind of phase out, we stop doing, and then the task kind of disappears and stays as it is. But these people know and they sustain. They know it takes years together for completing a big task. And the important thing, mindset, I talked about, one of the things is time management. For time management, I kind of learned one thing, how we can manage our time effectively in one of my training. So I want to share that. It is very simple technique. So for time, for any task, right, only two things that we need to understand. If you know the task, if you know these two things, urgency and important. How important is the task? How is it urgent? Right? If we start asking these two questions, we clearly spend our time based on what is important. Right? So if you see, this is one of the slide. So here, if you see, one side we have urgent, another side we have not urgent, and we have important and not important. For any task, you when you plan a week or when you are planning for a day, right? First thing, if you see, urgent, not important, phone calls, it comes. We don't plan for a phone call. Suddenly a phone call comes up, our notification comes today from so many applications, or some visitor guest comes our home. So all these things are urgent because we have to attend, but they are not important. Many times they are not important. Nowadays, if you see, because even cooking food nowadays, if both husband and wife are working, it is an urgent, because we need to have food for daily basis for our kids and for ourselves. So that is when they delegate the work to a maid or to a servant, because it is a urgent work. It has to happen, even though it is not as important for our big goals, but still it has to be addressed. As simple as phone call. Sometimes they will have a secretary, all these things, right? So these all are called unplanned and not important. Think about it. What all urgent and not important work that you are doing today, which can be delegated to someone else, so that you will get some time. Second thing that I would say is, okay, one thing that I want to share, my example, so that you can easily relate. When I started writing my book, it needed a lot of time. I was working in an IT company at that time. A lot of time went in there. And Bangalore traffic also was heavy. So what I did is, I started, instead of taking my own car, I used Ola. I started using Ola. So I got time. I kind of delegated the driving car to Ola. So I got my time. So I started using my laptop and started even writing my story while commuting. So there would be ways that you can extract time from our 24 hours. If you start having a vision, or if you start looking at this level. Second thing that I would say is urgent and important. So this is the most thing that everyone do, because we are forced to do. For example, if you are not well, we will go to doctor, right? Our school fees, last day electricity, EB bill, or school fees payment, we have to do, or income tax filing, or for earning primary job. Now, let's say teaching, we are just coming because that is our bread and butter. So we are just coming. And if you are hungry, we end up eating. So all these things will happen automatically, because this is time driven, right? This is important. Here there is no nothing we need to do. Let it happen. We don't need to reduce any time from there. Not urgent and not important. This is the most area where we spend a lot of time, right? It's not urgent, not important, but this is so attractive. So this is indulging, right? This will be dragging us. This will be pulling us into it. For example, even a small social media notification can eat up 3-4 hours of our time, because we may just want to go there, then keep on going, right? One YouTube, if you see, it will propose next video, will automatically it will play. So like that, there are so many technologies will keep dragging you, right? This is not urgent, this is not important. And in case for teaching, definitely YouTube is an important if we want to acquire our knowledge, right? Or if you are recording our own teaching into a YouTube, that is fine. That doesn't come here. This is purely an unproductive, unimportant task that we end up spending at least 2 to 4 hours daily. Mindless time pass. So there we need to see how we can at least become conscious. Becoming consciousness is the first thing. And then last and foremost thing, that we don't spend much time, and high performers spend time consciously, at least 2 to 4 hours daily. Not urgent, but important. For example, exercising, education, for example, even studies. We have seen many students study in the last week of the exams. They don't study. Or let's say for even something, if you need to purchase, no, we don't regularly spend save money. Maybe finally we kind of struggle to finish the task. Life goal activities, now children's marriage, or completing some education. There are so many big dreams that we have important. They are very important because they are important, and the timeline will come after 3 years. Today it's not urgent. That's where we lose our concentration. We don't pay attention because the final exam will come after 3 years, after 1 year. We don't spend time today. If we start spending time wisely, at least 1 hour a day, I'm sure this important activity can be accomplished with great results. That is where many people are not able to spend time, because that is boring. This is boring because daily if you have to spend 1 hour for reading, it's boring compared to watching social media. But the high performers, because they are self-driven, because they know their vision, they know the importance of doing these important activities, and they break the important activities milestone into weekly or monthly. Right? They know what they need to achieve in this month or this week, rather than a year-long milestone. So if you start, my ask is, if you start classifying your regular tasks, think about it, take a paper and see what all activity you perform a week, and categorize these 4, and that will register in your mind. And when you start doing these activities, your conscious mind will become active, right? And you will become aware. You will start performing important activities which are not urgent. With that, let me go to the morning habits. We are going to come to the final part of the presentation, where we are going to see the habits. The high performers perform activities. We need to learn, right? If we start practicing, if we can train what they generally do on a daily basis within 1 hour daily, right? We will also slowly gain their behavior. We will start doing what they generally do on a daily basis for that 1 hour. Slowly that will become our behavior, and we will start performing as a high performer, right? We need to start to learn to transform from performer to high performer. Practice daily to bring it as a habit. Isolate yourself without any disturbance when you perform this 1 hour exercise, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to share 6 steps. Each step needs to be performed 10 minutes. If you perform the 1 hour exercise or the activity continuously for almost a month, then you will see a big change in you. Okay. And you have to perform the task like a ritual. Why I call it as a ritual? It has to be performed. Series of action needs to be performed in the sequence that is prescribed, and in the same order, the same time that is performed, given. Duration is 60 minutes, 10 minutes each. And then magic rule of 21 days that many of you know. They say if you follow a particular thing for continuously for 21 days, then it will become your habit. Right? The first habit that I would say is start doing 10 minutes walk daily. It could be within your house. It could be if you're in a society, maybe you can go for around the thing. If you're in staying in maybe a village and other places where you can walk on the road, it need not to be walking. If you are comfortable, if you do perform exercise, that's fine. And then if you do any physical activity, that is also fine. For example, it could be cooking, or it could be planting, watering your plants. It could be anything where your body is heavily utilized and you are staying focused, right? while performing the tasks. Experiencing the present. This is very, very important for the doers. Doers, when I say dreamers. So for the dreamers, generally they don't do, because they know 10 minutes I can walk, because they have high confidence on them that I can perform the task, but they don't do on a daily basis. Because they don't do the physical activities on a daily basis, they become a dreamer. They stay as a dreamer. They don't see the value of doer. When they start walking for 10 minutes or exercise, whatever that they feel comfortable for 10 minutes on a daily basis, they see the difference. They feel the importance of doing things practically, right? So this is for thinkers to practice physically. The 10 minutes, you can choose your choice. Second thing is information recall. I would say second habit is take 10 minutes, recall something that you already know. It is more of activating your memory, activating your brain. Or for example, you just close your eyes, think in every room of your house, what object is placed where. I'm sure no, you will not be able to come no clearly. So slowly, if you start doing what you remember, it's more of a recalling the what you remember. Or it could be a lesson, or it could be a poem. It could be a productive visualization. No, visualizing one thing. Maybe you can even recall your marriage. Who all came in your marriage? Who all visitors came? Guests came, right? What dress that you are wearing? So try hard to recollect the things. Right, this is not procrastination. You are not going to endlessly think various things, but choose an event and then think everything related to the event. Recollecting a picture, detailed picture, right? House, event, people, and then even it could be mantra, it could be devotional song that you clearly remember. Now you can kind of repeat that. It's more about memory out, recalling. It's activating the mind. This is for thinkers to observe, because many thinkers are poor in observing things. If many thinkers are dreamers, because since they have not lived their present moment, if you ask them what they saw yesterday, they can't tell. So many times people, they don't even see people who are coming opposite side. They will say, you are thinking somewhere. They fail to observe people, right? So they are the thinkers. This will enforce them to observe things, and this will also help them to recollect when they need, right? Third thing is new thing, learning new things. This is memory in that I would say. It's kind of registering new things. You can read a chapter, you can read an article, you can listen to a webinar, you can even read new words from dictionary, new language. Every day you can learn about a new language, new words from the language, or it could be arts, it could be anything, or observing real life objects, scenes that you want to learn out of it, right? And practicing a new skill. That's what I'm saying. Learning something new. You're learning car, right? Driving a car. Could be anything. This is for doers to stimulus thinking. Because doers, since I said they always see dark clouds around them, they don't read many things. They don't increase their knowledge. If they increase their knowledge, if they increase their skill set through this exercise, their confidence level increase. When their confidence level increases, the dark clouds will slowly disappear, because their doers' confidence level is low, right? The confidence level can be increased if they increase their knowledge and if they increase their skills, right? So this is for the doers. And the fourth thing is do nothing for 10 minutes, right? Absolute silence. And it could be meditation. If you know about meditation, this is not about any religion. If you know about breathing, deep breathing, you can do. Or even you just watch a traffic signal, just observe what is going on, right? Or it could be watching from a top floor of apartment, watching what's happening, going on, right? Do nothing. So here, one thing that I would say, do nothing is going to bring lot of things from your deep of your mind. Lot of things are buried in our hurry-burry life. Many things are deep inside. So we are not connecting to our soul. We are so occupied connecting with others, trying to connect with the society, trying to connect through social media, so many things that we do. One example that I would say, let's say you are going from office to home, normal regular route. If you have gone daily with a car, I'm sure you would have missed many things to notice. If you walk one day, you will see so many things that you otherwise would not have seen, because you have reduced the speed. It's almost silence, right? So that is the whole objective of this nothing. In the 10 minutes, you will so many things will come. Why so many things are coming? A lot of questions will start coming, asking yourself, what is the purpose? What is your existence? So many basic questions will come to your mind. You will start connecting with your values, right? And chanting you can do. Chanting means here it's different from the thing. You are just using the same word. You are going to repeat. Because you're not thinking. This is not for thinking. This is for doers to connect with their inner and find their future. Energize is mind versus subconscious mind. I would say this is a RAM versus memory, right? What processor versus memory. So many times the mindset is influenced by subconscious. If subconscious mind is stored like a loser, I'm a loser. I always born for I can't. I'm not a winner. Right? I can't do this. I'm waste. I'm useless. If it is strongly stored in subconscious mind, it keeps disturbing your mind, because it comes from there. So that is why the subconscious mind needs to be energized with positive affirmation. So I will skip the thought, feeling, react, respond for the timing, because I think the time is also, we are just shooting. Being positive is very, very important. Keeping the mind very positive, calm and composed is very important. How you can achieve that? Using positive words. For example, even let's say as a teacher, if students are shouting, we end up saying don't shout. People say, the researchers, psychologists say it's not the right thing, because don't shout. Here we are emphasizing shout, because our mind ignores do not. Mind ignores not. Mind only takes the keywords. The students, then again intentionally they will start shouting. Instead of that, they say, even to children or students, keep silent, be silent, be calm, because we are asking them what to do. Similarly, many times we say, okay, it's already time, will I reach on time to office? I will be late. Okay, I will be late. So we'll be using late keyword many times. We end up becoming late. So instead of that, they say, oh, no, I should be on time. So all these positive words we should start using more and more, because our mind thinks in images. When I say do not shout, the shouting comes in as an image in students' mind and children's mind. That is what get registered. They visualize. They start enacting that. So the mind thinks in images. So use the positive words. Positive images will be created. Positive affirmation. One thing this I've started using for last almost a decade. In one white paper, you write down all your accomplishments. If you're a PhD, you see how you became a PhD, what all struggles, how you overcame, right? In a normal crowd, now among the students, in which subject you became excelled, you are a superstar. What kind of accomplishments you did within your co-bonds or in your society, in your neighbors, in your relatives, friends, what all are the top achievements that you've done? Don't underestimate your achievement. This is especially for doers. Doers think always that their achievements are not great, because they are always focused on the negativity of the past. Don't for this exercise, don't think about your negatives of your past. Think about all the past achievements. Put it in a paper. During this 10 minutes, read out those positive things, positive achievements that you have done. It would be good if you talk in front of a mirror, that I have done this, I've achieved this, right? With confidence, you talk to yourself. When you talk to yourself in front of a mirror, the positive image will get and will change the image that is stored in the subconscious mind. And when you hear it loudly, through your ears, the mind will start believing yourself that you are an achiever. This is very, very important. Only when you have the positive energy, you'll be able to perform. And then this is for doers to overcome the worries of the past and gain a lot of confidence, clarity, right? And then last thing is reflect. So every day we transform. As I said, the high performers are transforming every day. We transform every day, right? We don't suddenly change on our birthday, right? Only on birthday. So we change every day. Reflect about yourself on a daily basis. Maintain a journal or diary. Say what you have done. This is very, very important because when you write on a paper, it triggers thinking, right? What I've done. You are kind of forcing your brain to think, okay, what I've done. If in case, if you planned something and if you have not achieved, it creates some guiltiness. Then that guiltiness will help you to do that activity by the next day, because next day you don't want to put the same thing in the diary, right? During the daytime, you will think about, okay, by the end of the day, I should not feel guilty when I write in the diary. So you will start doing that activity. So writing journal also is important, because when you write on a paper, you are not writing on a paper. You are writing in your brain. You are writing, right? That gets stored. Since previous day, you can even think about what you have done from last one day, 1 week, month, and then you can also plan your next day. So many thinking is going in the 10 minutes. It's not going to take more than 10 minutes. 10 minutes, you can definitely make it productive. You can reflect on yourself. And then this is important for doers to realize about the negative thoughts they get. And this is for thinkers to realize that the reality of the progress, because they dreamers will keep thinking only when they write in a journal on the end of the day, they know that they haven't made any progress. This will enforce them to do on the next day. So this is an important activity. So if I have to relate the core pillars with the winner practice, so winner practice is, if you see the first word is no, if you just see, it's a kind of a winner of this practice. First is walking for 10 minutes. You could do any physical activity. Next 10 minutes, you are doing information recall. Next 10 minutes, you are going to learn new thing. But if you see here, while walking, you are doing more of a body. You are connecting with the body and you are doing present moment. When you do information recall and new thing, you are doing a brain activity, which is of past, right? You are kind of stimulating your brain. And then when you do nothing, you are kind of connecting with your soul. And then when you energize, right, with a positive affirmation, positive thing, you are kind of you are changing or improving your subconscious mind, which will help you to have the right mindset. So that is what you are practicing when you do the energize. And then the last activity, when you reflect, right, you are also doing the present moment, what you have done. It's a kind of physical activity that you are doing. So when you do this winner practice for 10 minutes or for the 1 hour, right, you are kind of climbing a small hill and then you are coming down. So if you start practicing this, right, it might be a small hill first day. After 1 month, it will be the hill keep increasing. When I say that 60 minutes, you becomes 2 hours. Maybe you will do 4 hours. This becomes your regular activity, right? You will one day you will become a high performer, because high performer do all these 6 activities. So if you see, Kalam does walking 1 hour daily, and then he also keeps thinking, and he reflects, and he do a lot of positive affirmation. He do a lot of connecting to with his soul. So if you do all these activities on a daily basis, 60 minutes, if you can take and do for next 21 days, I'm sure you will turn out to become a performer, high performer. Connecting this with the story. So if you remember the first prince, he was not able to swim. He was swept away because he didn't have the right physical strength that relates to body. And second prince, he didn't know the technique of swimming. It is more about the knowledge. He didn't acquire the knowledge, because of which he was not a performer. Third thing is, the third prince, unnecessarily he got into argument, and with this angry mindset, he was kind of killed. And finally, the fourth prince kindly lost the destination. He didn't know the peak name. He didn't know the destination. He didn't know the vision. So because of that, now he was just roaming around. He couldn't complete the task. So this is why these 4 pillars are important, And that's exactly what Kalam said in his quote. You must have a dream and aim, that is a vision. And then you should acquire the knowledge, that is the brain, second. Third is with the hard work, physically you are going to do. And then with perseverance is handling the failures, having the right mindset, not giving up. You can realize a great life. So this is how I would relate Kalam's quote with the presentation. Everyone will become a high performer. And the last thought is practice makes progress. If we don't practice, we are not going to make progress. Only when we make progress, eventually we'll become a performer. And second thing is, high performers are not making big achievements one day, suddenly. They make progress on a daily basis. They live as a high performer on a daily basis. With that final thought, I am just finished my presentation. I hope it was useful and it was relatable to many of you. Looking forward to hear if there is any Q&A or any comments on my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for this wonderful presentation. Your insight of performer is appreciable. Like we dream, but some people are not able to channelize their energy. As you rightly said, we need to ask ourselves questions regarding our career, ambition, our goals. I think your life is hugely inspired by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, and you are implementing his thoughts also in your life. Your pictorial representation of question like, can I do it? We need to ask questions like how to do it. Why do I need to do it? I think I have learned considerably some presentation skills from you.
Okay.
I think so we can enhance our attitude by working on knowledge processes, method like soft spoken skills, technical knowledge. Your tips on procrastination, dealing with procrastinations and time management is also commendable. Thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Now we are proceeding towards the interactive session of question and answer. I would like to call Captain K. Karthik, sir, to share his point of view on this session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Kashish, and very hearty congratulations and very good lecture, sir, Dr.
Ravi Shankar.
Really enjoyed it. Seeing your lecture, I immediately remember the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Dr. Stephen Covey.
Yes.
And even I try to communicate a lot of things from there, right from the time management, everything. So I believe in certain quotes which I saw everything in your lecture. He says in one of the places, I know of no more encouraging facts than the unquestionable ability of a man to elevate his life by conscious endeavor. So the time management part, what you said is really wonderful. So where we dwell most of the time and where we waste our time has been very clearly mentioned by you, sir. And the not urgent and important quadrant is very essential for us. Not urgent, but the most important. That is where we focus. So I think you have given some wonderful habits for every one of us to live. And I am sure that if we consciously follow all these things, we can leave a beautiful habit within 24 days. And we can sustain it and we can achieve good performance. The way you have classified the categories like losers, doers, and
doers, thinkers, performers.
Really, maybe it is. As you were saying, I was introspecting where in which category I fall. I'm still in the probably the dreamer stage only. I need to become a performer. So let me also adapt some of your practices. What you said, sir. Really, it's very inspiring lecture. I'm sure there are a lot of takeaways from your lecture, and our cadets and all the participants would have enjoyed it. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to hear about the feedback.
Thank you so much, Ravi Shankar.
Thank you.
Maybe
Akshay,
ask for feedback from other people also.
Other people, yes.
Share their experience.
I'd like to ask the participant if they are having any questions regarding this session.
Yes, good evening, sir. This is Rudesh here from BSc final year.
Okay.
So the question is that you are telling about doer and dreamer. So actually, which has been a more important part in my life as well. So I was just thinking about as you were telling, doer and dreamer. If a person is economically unstable, so he involved in doing a short-term job to achieve his dream. So what is your view on this part, sir?
No, I didn't hear the last part actually. I only heard the half of it.
So actually, he's economically unstable. So he just involved in a short-term job to achieve his dream.
Yeah.
What is your point of view on
Yeah,
that?
I think your question is, if some person is, because of the circumstances, because of the his maybe financial aspect, because he will end up doing um, uh, doing a short-term job, right? He most of his time goes. Even in then, if you see, people can, if they know that, if they have a dream, for example, if a person is working 6 days a week, let's assume 6 days, 12 hours a day, let's assume to that extent that the person is occupied, still that one day, right? If the person is having a dream, and if he is definitely wants to make that happen, if he wants to change his generation to come, children's to change, if he wants to elevate himself, he will utilize the one day. He might go for weekend course, right? He might even work with his manager or whoever it is, just to find days, maybe in the evening or maybe in the morning time. I've seen people even because of one IAS. I recently had a talk with one IAS. He recently got retired. He used to say he was a fisherman. He was a fisherman's son. Okay, so his father used to go every day 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. They go to sea, and then they come back at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Then after that, he has to go to school, another thing, right? So he used to go along with his father inside the sea in the boat, small boat. And then 2 hours after throwing the nets, he will get 1 or 2 hours idle time, right? He will read there at the middle of the sea in a small boat, a small boy reading a book. He is financially, if you see, he's underprivileged. He doesn't have that the thing. But the key here is money. Money is an underprivilege, but time is constant for everyone. How we are utilized that is the time is what will make you. You can, for example, you can gain good body fitness with the time. You can gain knowledge with the time. You can build a good mindset with time. If you have vision, right, all three can be done with time alone, right? So definitely, no, if you see time management, if you do properly, if you have a clear vision and self-driven, right, a small fisherman son can become an IAS, right? So that, I'm not sure whether I was able to answer the question.
Yes, sir, it was a well answered, sir. Thank you, sir. And adding up to that, one more question, sir.
Yeah.
It is the dreaming part. So in the dreaming part, so we are focused on that one day which we are said, like 6 days we are working for our goal, and then the last one day which we are working for the dream. So meanwhile, in that dream itself, we have a few obstacles that pressure comes from the family side of society side like that. So how to handle those parts? Sir?
Okay, so this is a good question actually, because it's not individual. For an individual person's dream to fulfill, lot of support system needs to be intact. Because one is money is one thing, second thing is family support, friends support, right? Here I would say two things. One is, what I have realized is, the friends, the close circle are the last one to appreciate and recognize your success. Many times we expect immediate appreciation from them. They are the last one to appreciate. They will still look at you as a son, or they will still look at you as a close friend, right? They can't see you as a writer. They can't see you as a big achiever, right? Sometimes they will start comparing and they will start dragging you, because he's like us. Why? How can I, kind of look at him as a writer? Right? A lot of things. That's why one thing that I would say, don't look appreciation from close circle. Okay, that is one thing. Second thing is, definitely support we need. Appreciation is different. Support we need from family and friends. We need. For that, I would say, initially we will not get support, because people might think we are just doing for time pass. Let's say if your goal is 100 days or 1 year, you need for achieving your goal. First 2 months, people look at you as okay, he's doing just for time pass. Then they will say, okay, he's doing some regularly. So only when you carry and cross maybe 50%, 30%, 40% of your goal, people, and when they start seeing you, okay, you are spending weekdays, you are spending early mornings, then their seriousness will come into the picture. That is When they look at your seriousness, they will start supporting you. Till then, they will not support you, right? So for that, also it is in our hand. If we drop the ball, then we cannot cross the bridge. We have to move on, whether they support or not during initial days. We have to cross. We have to support ourselves and cross the maybe 20% or 50%. Then believe me, lot of unasked support will come. The beyond that you even imagine, support will come. Okay.
Next, I would like to call Kate Tarun for vote of thanks.
It's a great honor for me to deliver the vote of thanks. This was an excellent session which was very helpful for us to recognize where we went wrong to become a performer. We now understand what we lacked from us to become a performer from being a doer or a thinker. I hope all the 6 habits and tips to become a high performer will be very helpful for us, both teachers and students. My sincere thanks to Mr. Ravi Shankar sir for giving us this wonderful session on 6 habits on high performance. I thank Captain K. Karthik sir, Vice Principal, Dean and Head of Nautical Science for supporting us throughout this event. I thank Kalpana ma'am for coordinating this event. I thank all the deans, HODs, faculties, and all the participants for making this an successful event. I once again thank all the participants.